Hey everyone, it's Tara. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on This or That Tag Romance Edition. So I actually saw the Love Librarian do this tag, and anybody who watched her video, she also tagged, so I figured I would give it a shot. So if you want to see what I would choose, this or that, for Romance Edition, just keep watching. So the first question is, for this or that, is Cliffhangers or Happily Ever After? And so I enjoy Happily Ever After. In romance, I want them to get their Happily Ever After. I don't like when it ends on cliffhangers. Unless it's one where it's a series and the cliffhanger has nothing to do with the relationship. As long as the relationship ends in happily ever after, but maybe there's something like romantic suspense about it and it moves to the next book in the series, I don't mind that. But when it comes to the couple in that book, I want to see their HEA. So the next one is hardcover or paperback. And I'd say I'm definitely a paperback. I like being able to open and flip to a book. I think I have, more floppy paperback too, so that I don't crack the spines, because I definitely don't like cracking the spines of my books. So floppy paperback is for me. So the next one is Angsty or Cutesy. And I would say, unless I'm in the mood for angst, I would probably choose Cutesy. I like when there's a little bit of a sweet love happening, or even a romantic comedy sort of thing. So if it's angsty, I have to be in the right mood for it. And I like a little bit of angst in my books, but not when the whole book is angst ridden. I like a little bit of tension, and then they kind of get to their cutesy and they're together. The next one is emotional or rom com, and I'd probably say rom com mostly, unless I'm in the mood to cry, which obviously there's times throughout the year that I'm I need a good cry, let's get a emotional book. But for the most part, I'm looking for an escape from stress. So I want a rom-com, sweet, cutesy book. So the next one is series or standalones. And I definitely say standalones. I am horrible at finishing or continuing series. I try, but then if it ends, a lot of romances tend to focus in series on specific couples. So one book will be one couple, and then the next book will be another couple, but then they're all within that same universe or that same town or city. And so I'll just read the favorite my favorite couples, or the books that sound really interesting to me, so I don't get through the series. Or I'll be okay, that's a standalone, that's the end of it, and I'm done. So I'm definitely a standalone girl, and I enjoy reading them when it just ends. I will read series. I've started a billion series, but I think the only one that I finished is the Wallflower series, and that's a historical romance, and I loved the Wallflowers in the book. I really liked all their personalities, so I finished that one. But I can't think of another series that I've actually finished. So I'm halfway through one, or I've started, a couple books in the series. So definitely standalone. So the next one is Booktok or Bookstagram, and I would definitely say Bookstagram. I don't have TikTok. I used to, but I ended up deleting it because I wasn't feeling it. And then so I have Bookstagram. I've followed a lot of people. I currently have one too, so I enjoy looking at the reels and seeing what people's reviews and what their thoughts are. So I'm definitely Bookstagram on this one. So the next one is people or objects on covers. And I don't really have like a major opinion on this one. If I like the cover, I just tend to get it, whatever it is. I would say the majority of my books are people on it, and I don't mind them. A lot of them are really nice, and I enjoy some of the illustrations or some of the pictures on them. So I would probably say people. So the next one is new releases or backlist, and I would definitely say backlist. I struggle with keeping up with new releases. I will say, like, I guess the majority of my books could be considered newer releases, but I would say, like, by the time I get around to reading it, they've definitely become backlist. So backlist it is for me. So the next one is for this or that is TBR or free for all, and the majority of the time I am a free for all. I have recently, since I started YouTube, done a TBR, but I'm pretty flexible with that. If I'm not feeling a book and I don't want to read it, I'm not going to force myself at the time to read it. So I am definitely like a mood reader. So I would say I'm predominantly free for all. So the next one is Open Door or Fade to Black. And most of the books I read are open door, and I do enjoy those. I enjoy steamier romances. So I would probably say I'm predominantly open door. So the next one I have is audiobooks or ebook / paperback. And I would say I'm probably ebook / paperback. I do like having like a physical something, whether that's my Kindle app on my iPad or a book in front of me. Unless I'm like doing something, like if I'm, doing the dishes or like chores. If I'm driving, I will have an audiobook, but oftentimes audiobooks don't like stick with me, and that just is how I am as a person, as a reader. I have to have it physically in front of me usually, and then that's how I tend to retain it, and they tend to stay with me. There have been a few audiobooks that have like lasted in my memory, but for the most part I do need like a paperback or an ebook copy for it to like sink in and stay in. So the next one is Kindle or nah. I do not own a Kindle, but I do have the Kindle app on my iPad, so I would say yes to the Kindle app. I just haven't gotten the Kindle because I just didn't think it was necessary if I have the Kindle app and an iPad. So yeah, I would say Kindle app. And then the next one is matte or glossy, and that's like matte or glossy covers. And I'd say I really do like the matte covers. I think glossy ones, one, they tend to be like slippery. I like the feeling of it being solid in my hands. Also, now that I do YouTube, the reflection on glossy ones, it tends to like get the ring light. So I'd say matte is my my choice for book covers. So the next one is buddy read or fly solo. I would love to buddy read. I do like talking to other people about books. Unfortunately, in real life, I don't have a lot of people that read the books I do, or I can conversate with, so I tend to fly solo, but I do enjoy buddy reading and discussing with people about books. So if I had the choice and I had people who wanted to buddy read would be my go-to. This one is small town or dark romance, and I would definitely say small town. I have read a couple and have enjoyed it. I recently read It Happened One Summer, and I enjoyed that one. There's a few other ones I've read that I've enjoyed as small town romances. I have read like darker romances, but I kind of have to be in the mood, like my brain has to be in the mood to read them, because I know sometimes they're a lot to take in, but it's not that I don't enjoy them, I just have to be in that right mindset. So I'd say small town is the majority of what I would read. So the next one is new adult or adult, and definitely adult. I'm not really a big fan of new adult, and I tend to read predominantly just adult romance books. Next one is sprint read or marathon read a series. If I was reading a series, which we've all found out that I'm not good at that, I would probably sprint read it, but let's be realistic, I'm probably more of a marathon reader. It takes me forever to get through a series. So yeah, I guess I'll say marathon read a series, and it just takes me a while. Eventually I get through it, unless it was that, again, that Lisa Kleypas Wallflower series. I went back to back to back on that one. So I guess I just really enjoyed that one. But any other series, it's been a marathon read for me. So the next one is read multiple books at once or one at a time. I am predominantly a one at a time reader. What I will say is I often have like a physical book in front of me, and then I'll have an audiobook in the car, or, you know, doing chores, cooking dinner, those sort of things. But for the most part, I'm not going to have multiple physical books going at the same time, because I just get too distracted. And I find that I'll like lose like information, like I'll forget, or I'll confuse the two. So if I just have an audiobook going and a physical book, that tends to be the best for me. So I would definitely say I'm a one at a time reader. And the next one is, for this or that, is Alpha Hero or Cinnamon Roll Hero. And I would probably say I'm a Cinnamon Roll Hero type of romance reader. I do enjoy like alpha heroes in things like historical romances, so they tend to be more alpha heroes, or even like paranormal romances where it's like vampires or werewolves and they have like the fated mates, so they're kind of more alpha. Or even mafia, I guess I enjoy it then. But when it comes to like contemporary romance, I'm more of a cinnamon roll type of reader. So the second to the last one is Baddie or Damsel in Distress, and I would definitely say a baddie. I like a girl who can, you know, handle her own and banter back with the hero and take care of herself. So definitely baddie on that one. And then the last one is slow burn or insta love, and I will go slow burn all day. I know I said I don't really like angst, but I also I don't like insta love unless it's in those situations of like fated mates. I get that then, but when it comes to like contemporaries or, you know, some other type of like historicals, I would want slow burn. Unless it's like Marriage of Convenience, but even then, if it's Marriage of Convenience, you can still get a slow burn out of it. So I guess I'm going with slow burn. So that was all of the like this or that questions for the romance edition. Again, I saw this through the Love Librarian. I just started following her, and I enjoy her channel. Everything I've watched has been fun. You should really check her out if you haven't yet. And I will tag anybody who has a YouTube channel and wants to, you know, do this video. Or if you don't have a YouTube channel, you know, you can leave it in the comments below. You can leave your answers. I'd love to see them. So anyways, thanks for watching. I will just talk to you guys later. Like and subscribe if you would like to. Have a good one. Bye.